In this presentation, we'll talk about social media influencers, an increasingly important part of the way that young people consume media today. As social media has grown in popularity, many users with large followings have taken on the role of social media influencer. They partner with brands to endorse products to their audiences. Brands love these types of partnerships because these influencers are incredibly powerful with their audiences. Audiences truly trust these folks as if they were their own friends, regardless of whether they're a celebrity or just an everyday person who's become an influencer. Recommendation from an influencer can carry the same weight or even more as a friend or family member. To the end user, especially younger users, it can be extremely difficult to recognize which social media posts are paid advertisements of products and which are ordinary posts that influencers want to share. Therefore, the line between advertising has become much murkier when we introduce social media influencers into the mix, and you may be sold on products without even realizing you're being sold on them. Anyone can be an influencer today. InfluencerMarketingHub.com introduces the idea of micro-influencers. So you might often think of your Kylie Jenners, your Ariana Grandes, people like that as being influencers, people that have got 200 million plus followers each, and they certainly are influencers. But this idea of micro-influencers shows that people who have followings on social media between 1,000 and 40,000 on a single platform, Instagram, etc., would be able to take on that role of influences as well. The people that follow them, even if they're not celebrities in the traditional sense, really place a lot of trust in these people and will happily buy a product based on their recommendations. Brands are turning to micro influencers because your Kylie Jenner's, Dwayne Johnson's, etc. They can charge $500,000 to $1 million for one single post endorsing a brand. Most brands don't have that sort of budget. Even if they did, it would be difficult for them to recognize a strong return on that. So tapping into these micro influencers gives brands a way to reach people who are very trusting and very loyal and get them to purchase their products. Those people, by the way, are you, the audience, teens and tweens out there. Brands are trying to reach into your pockets and get a hold of your money by leveraging these micro influencers. There are companies that have started Captivate, IZEA. You wouldn't see these companies yourself because you're simply consuming the end content that gets pushed through social media. But there are companies that have built their entire business model on connecting micro influencers and brands to feature brand sponsorship posts, again, that are aimed right at you. This is great for social media users who want to turn their hobby into an extra source of income. I mean, who wouldn't want to turn their time they spend on social media into some extra money? But it also means that there's more manipulated messages than ever for you to see, right? There's more people that are trying to influence the way that you think, the products you purchase, etc. So would really ask you this question: do these influencers really believe in these products? When you see someone pushing an energy drink, a new cosmetic solution, whatever that might be, do they truly think that's the best thing for you, their audience, or do they see that as a way for them to make money, even if that hurts you in the end? We're seeing influencers move on from just endorsing products to starting to get into politics and ideology, things like that. That could be challenging enough if we were just talking about the purchasing aspect of this. But now you're seeing people who might have otherwise been talking about yoga, fashion tips, style, talking about conspiracy theories like QAnon. It's really a disturbing trend, and unfortunately, it can really resonate with younger audiences who aren't trained in media literacy, which we're studying here, or basic fact checking that will show them that something like QAnon is clearly a crazy conspiracy theory as opposed to anything real or valid. There was an article in The Atlantic in August 2020 that started talking about the proliferation of influencers who would, again, typically be talking about makeup, style, fashion, kind of living your best life sort of an approach, who got sucked into the QAnon rabbit hole and started posting about that. So now people who might have been looking for travel ideas, clothing purchases, and inspirational messages are having conspiracy theories force fed to them as well. Influencer audiences really present a great concern. Influencers typically, a large base of their audiences are younger fans, teens, tweens, or people who are even younger, who are not going to be savvy to discerning the fact that they are being having products promoted to them, having these ideologies promoted to them, etc. They're going to be much more susceptible, much more likely to act on whatever these influencers are telling them to do, unless they're going through the kind of critical thinking training that we're trying to do here with this media literacy program. So this is really a great way for you to ensure that you're not getting caught up in the traps that these influencers are setting. Quick concluding thought on this: 5 steps for you to be smarter about influencer content. Absolutely follow influencers. There's lots of great content out there. There's some really solid people who are doing good work and posting cool, entertaining content, great tips for you, things like that. But keep in mind, everyone posting on social media is doing it for a reason, right? They're trying to earn money. They're trying to persuade other people to their way of thinking, gaining attention, etc. There's a reason for every post that they're putting out there. It's not solely for your enjoyment. It's to benefit them in some way. You should question how these motivations might be influencing what they post. When you're seeing a product or service that's being endorsed, ask yourself if you think the influencer would still suggest the product if they weren't getting paid to do so. So if you see someone advertising an energy drink in their Instagram post, would they drink that themselves? Would they recommend that to you if they weren't getting money for it? The answer might very well be no. Would they recommend this to you as just their friend? Ask yourself that question whenever you're seeing these brand posts. Talk to your parents, your friends, your family about content that seems confusing, right? If you see a social personality who often posts about style tips and now they're talking about QAnon or some other conspiracy theory or a piece of political content, that's going to seem off to you. Talk to somebody about it. See what they think about it. It's always good to get a second opinion on these things. And then you yourself, be responsible in posting or sharing content. Don't expose others in your network to content that's financially motivated or might spread conspiracy theories or disinformation, things that we're really trying to help you avoid here in this course.